Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is John and this is your Modern Tech Breakdown. Today I'm taking a look at the latest vulnerability for AMD processors. I'll review what the vulnerability is and what the possible impact is and how concerned you should be if you own an AMD system. Let's jump into it. Here we have a write-up from Tom's Hardware. I'm going to jump down to the section that outlines the technical details of the vulnerability. The SINKCLOSE vulnerability allows hackers to execute code within the system management mode of AMD processors, a highly privileged area typically reserved for critical firmware operations. To exploit this flaw, attackers must first gain access to a system's kernel, which isn't easy but is possible. However, the system must already have been compromised by some other attack. Once this access is secured, the SINKCLOSE vulnerability allows the perpetrators to install bootkit malware that evades detection by standard antivirus tools, remaining nearly invisible within the system and can persist even after the operating system is reinstalled. This method is complex but provides attackers a deep and persistent control over the system. All right, so you probably caught it, but there's a key phrase in there. The system must already have been compromised by some other attack. So technically this isn't a new entry point for the bad guys, but it's really just a means for infecting a compromised system more deeply, like really, really deeply, which is a concern for folks that are trying to secure highly valued systems, as I believe it's more likely that a state-sponsored, persistent, advanced threat actor is going to be looking at something like this in order to keep their hooks into the system. For your average everyday home user, probably less of a concern. For the everyday user, their biggest threat is probably going to be malicious sites that are most likely coming from phishing attempts through email. I wouldn't think those sites are going to go to the effort of something like SINKCLOSE to further infect a system that they already have compromised. But let's scroll down a little bit and see what it takes to remove a SINKCLOSE infection. They suggest that advanced state-sponsored hackers likely already have the tools to exploit these kinds of vulnerabilities. According to researchers, kernel exploits are readily available, making SINKCLOSE the next step for attackers. To remove the malware, one would need to open the computer, connect to a specific part of its memory using an SPI flash programmer, carefully inspect the memory, and then remove the malware. Yeah, that is some deep hooks. I don't think too many people are going to be cracking open their PC and connecting up a serial port like that. I think if you have a compromised AMD system and you're concerned that you may have a SINKCLOSE infection, it'll probably mean you have to throw out the hardware. Obviously, more expensive servers or workstations could justify the effort of trying to fix something like this, but I'm not sure there's ever going to be a feasible procedure to do that. For its part, I'm speculating that AMD is merely going to be releasing patches that will eliminate the vulnerability, but probably will stop short of providing a fix for infected systems. And unfortunately, it would seem that this vulnerability has been in AMD systems for the last 18 years. So there's probably a lot of potentially impacted hardware out there. So to wrap this up, how concerned should you be about this? If you don't own an AMD system, zero concern, obviously. If you do own an AMD system, I think you should probably have some concern if you're a potential target from an advanced persistent threat. Government, military, high-level private sector with trade secrets. If you've secured your systems already, you're probably okay for some time before anyone makes use of this. However, it would make sense to apply the AMD patches as soon as they are released in order to eliminate any level of concern. And with that, I'll wrap this video up for today. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.